You're watching Beauty and the Beast. I'm Doug Mulray, and the lovely Chloe has this to say. Dear Doug and Beauties, my boyfriend is an okay dancer, but he's also very into jewellery, darling. He has enough rings to put Liberace to shame and wears at least 3 gold chains around his neck. I'm not really fussed about men wearing jewellery, and I think it's all a bit gay. What do the rest of you think? Says Chloe. Hi, I'm Doug. I'm Sagittarius. What's your sign? Never did the open shirt and the star sign round the neck. Never did a lot of jewellery, although if you like, I'll show you my ring. No, it's just a lovely thing that Lizzie gave me. It was an anniversary. Jeannie, your feelings on male jewellery?
Dougie has always loved Barbara Streisand as well. And Kylie.
Show tunes, yeah. Give me show tunes.
Exactly.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly that. Look, Chloe, sweetheart, any man who is assured of his own masculinity, it can wear a dress even, and he is at no risk of being, you know, gay at all. I mean, I know on the footy show they wear dresses and, you know, I'm a bit sort of, you know, I think that they're a bit sort of, you know, like that, don't you, darling?
I think they just need fashion advice, Jenny. Yeah. They need to hire you as a consultant, I suspect.
Exactly. No, but truly honestly, listen, jewellery, especially for Europeans, Agnes, especially lots and lots of gold jewellery, you know, actually people wear a lot, men, women, anyone, children, they can flee the country at a moment's notice and everything. And so I think more and more people are getting a lot of gold jewellery and wearing it all the time. And you can be as straight as, you know, a pole, and you can,
or a check.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. You can be still very straight. You know,
no, I'm sorry, I've just checked with the producer. We don't take checks.
Oh, sorry.
So you're saying it's not just about adorning the bod; it's actually about carrying your wealth around.
That's exactly what it's for. Except that if a man wears big gold rings in his ears, I would sort of suspect.
Yeah, that he's a gypsy.
Yes, there's a bit AC/DC.
He's probably playing the violin on the slide. Agnes, you were recently in Poland. Possibly you'd like to comment.
It's true. It's definitely, I think, these people like to display their wealth, and in which case I suggest that you buy him a safe and assure him it's okay to leave the gold at home. But look, it's an interesting point why we all decorate ourselves, you know, but why would a man feel the need to wear these sort of props, you know? I mean, in my experience, men who wear a lot of jewellery and who wear a lot of makeup, they tend to be a little bit on the insecure side, you know? Perhaps you should reassure him and tell him that you think he's very handsome anyway. I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it?
I don't see a lot of it in this country. I mean, walking around the major cities of Australia, you know, it doesn't remind you of Miami. I mean, it might be a bit of a trend with the young, but I hope it never gets to Liberace proportions. I saw a Liberace show at the Hilton years ago, a stage show, and halfway through, after playing a few tunes, he pulled the screen down, a slide screen, and actually showed pictures of his jewellery so that the people who'd paid $150 to come and see him play the goanna could have a good look at the one that was in the shape of a piano and the one that a recent lover had given him and the one that President Reagan had given him. And
it was all...
No, it wasn't all right, actually. It put me off my dessert. Cleo, many of your friends wear a great deal of jewellery, don't they, darling?
You've got to realise I live for this. In fact, I went on a pilgrimage to the Liberace Museum on Tropicana and Flamingo Drives in Vegas. Fabulous. He had a Rolls Royce in disco ball material, but I digress. Now, Chloe, I've got to say, one look at Liza Minnelli's wedding and you're going to be so coping with the jewellery. You're going to be so coping with the jewellery. This is the naughties. Spirit fingers, spirit fingers. Now, I can't decide whether this boyfriend of yours is just a little bit fabulous or whether he's doing the macho chain thing, the strutting rooster. Personally, I've always loved in history dandyism of the most flagrant kind. I mean, if you actually pull way back, everything from ancient Egypt, the 18th century salons of Europe, we thought of manhood and masculinity in a different way. So we just happened to be in the noughties in 21st century Australia. And I think if you can't cope with a little bit of jewellery, I mean, isn't it time we let men express themselves a little bit again without putting the Instafag stamp on them?
Oh, I think so. You know, I mean, it's tattooing and piercing, and it's all arrived, hun, and we're all dealing with it. I wouldn't panic. I mean, I draw the line at a powdered wig.
Have you got one on?
No, certainly not. If you were going to go to the trouble of wearing a wig, wouldn't you get a better one than this?
But don't you think, I mean, Australian men are so sus that if you're never quite sure which way they're going to hit anyway, so I'd be a bit worried. I'd always think if someone's got jewellery on, he's making a statement, honey, I'm one of them. But I also think he's a bit of a pretty boy wanker, this guy. I mean, he's making a statement about himself that says he's really affected and he wants to be even outshining you. The only ring I like on a bloke is through his nose. You know, I just think that really, you know, I wouldn't... The only thing about it is he must have been wearing jewellery when you met him, and I really get irritated by people who hook up with people and then want to change them. Why is it that people want to change people after they've snared them? It really irritates me.
Yeah, no, I think that's the point. If he's got 3 gold chains around his neck, he probably always had 3 gold chains around his neck. Joe, men with jewellery.
Well, personally, I'm not up for it. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm all for freedom of expression. But in the Italian community, it is symbolic of something. You do get given a collana on your christening day, and that tends to be what the Italian men wear around their neck with a medallion. But
It's a cultural thing.
yeah, that's a cultural thing. But as for 3, yeah, I'm not personally into it. But I mean, if he likes it, as Prue said, if he was like that when you met him, you've got to accept him now.
I mean, there are other religious affectations that are expressed in jewellery, aren't there? I mean, there's your St Christopher medal, and there's also an Irish Catholic ring.
handbag that priests wear. It's fabulous.
The incense handbag.
We wear our pentacle, our 5-pointed star.
Yeah, what's big in witchcraft?
Yeah, it is.
The artichoke on a chain. Actually, I've never understood what that stood for.
The artichoke.
Yeah, a little sort of artichoke thing.
That's an Italian.
Oh, is that it?
A rabbit leaf. That's
I always
what
thought it was an artichoke and they were into food.
Well, with witchcraft, you can get into body parts and you can really go hog wild. I mean,
But you know what they say about men who've had their ears pierced? Well,
What do
they're
they
well
say?
prepared for marriage because they've bought jewellery and they've experienced pain. So, there you go. Maybe you should marry him.
I'm thinking we should have a look at the witch, and I'm not seeing any. I'm seeing tats, but I'm not seeing any sort of terrifying
I used to have a
jewellery.
lip piercing here. I don't really wear it much anymore, but remember I used to wear my piercing a
You had
lot.
a bolt in your tongue, didn't
A
you?
bolt through my lip, through here. But I stopped wearing, I mean, I got it for a reason. I went on a meditation camp where we didn't speak for 10 days. We learnt this very disciplined form of meditation called Vipassana. And after that experience, I got a piercing to sort of symbolise what I went through. The pain of the piercing was the pain of just renouncing everything and going to that solitary place. And then the metal was permanent through the impermanent flesh, which was a notion of understanding the permanence of the spirit, the impermanence of the flesh. So, I mean, that was very symbolic for me. But I found, honestly, I had to take it out in the end because it was rubbing my gums away, and I thought I was going to lose my bottom 2 teeth.
And she was,
Is it closed up?
No, Pashing was great. So was it's school holidays. And anyway,
yeah, like school holidays have always been great, I found. The real reason she had to take it out, ladies and gentlemen, was because she kept dribbling beer every time she went down the
I've
pub.
still got the hole there. No, it's still drilled.
Oh, right. Stay with us, more fascinating revelations after the break.